Okay, so we are back with Okiki Marinho, and of course, the first half she's been talking about her journey through the ectopic pregnancies, how she found out about them, the experiences that she had, the emotional trauma that it caused her. And now it's basically you finished the first part of your journey, and now we're going into the second part of your journey because now at this period of time, from what you're telling us is both your tubes have been taken now. You had 3 ectopic pregnancies, and now you're about to embark on the next chapter.
Yes.
Okay, so.
And that chapter is called IVF.
Oh, wow.
Now, IVF in layman's words is just, they take eggs from a woman and take sperm from the man, and they mix it all up and they implant it back into you. The normal way for conception would have been, the sperm met the egg in your body, goes through the fallopian tube and, after 3-5 days into the womb. But in my case, since we don't have tubes anymore, or other women that have other conditions, it's bypassing the tube and what you do, and doing the tube-like thing in an outside environment then before they put it back into you. So after 3 to 5 days of them fertilizing the egg, they put it back into you. But that's the short version. But the long, gorgeous version of IVF, it's all the injections and hormonal drugs and just everything you have to go to get to the egg retrieval and eventually the implantation stage. So I did embark on the IVF journey. About maybe after that last operation, I embarked on it. About 5 months after, I thought, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this. And they showed me how to inject myself.
Okay, so you and your husband, you went to a clinic, or?
My husband and I went to a clinic, and you're right. Let me start from the beginning. So they'll check both of us. What's it called? In his case, they'll do a sperm analysis and all of that. In my case, I'm not really sure of the medical terminologies, but they do all sorts of checks to just make sure you're viable. Like, you guys can try. At least they won't give you the best chance of it not failing. So they do all the gibberish that doctors do. And they tell you, okay, we can go for this, you're a good candidate. So you start off with the injections almost immediately. They usually time it around your period.
Before or after?
About 2-3 days into the period. Yeah, that's around when the journey starts.
For the eggs.
Yeah, for the injections and all that. So so they show you what to do, and if you're squeamish and you can't inject yourself on the belly area, you have to go to the clinic every day. But I chose to.
How often do you have to do the injections?
At least once a day, usually for between 10 to 12 days, pending how fast your body is reacting or not reacting. Because the injections are to, should we say, ignite your remaining little follicles. Since each month we release an egg, like the average woman releases an egg, or sometimes 2 eggs. But those eggs each month, it's not always the case that they're good quality eggs. If they were, we won't have to be doing all these injections by IVF. They'll just depend on what you call natural IVF, which some women even, but I think that's not that popular anymore. Natural IVF would have been what my body naturally brings, that 1 egg or those 2 eggs. That's what they would eventually extract. But most people will find that a waste of time and money, because nobody knows what month you will have the good eggs. Because the whole essence of us having our period and all that is, like someone would say, God's way of, cleaning out the bad stuff. Like maybe that egg was bad, so it'll just become your period, as opposed to you extracting it, putting the sperm, and it's becoming something else. So so pretty much the injections are just to boost those remaining tiny little follicles that can become eggs. And and the more eggs they can get, the better it is for the eventual fertilization. So once you inject yourself for maybe 8, 10, 12 days, it depends on who the woman is and what program you're on with your clinic. They would now eventually have an operation to extract the eggs. So after extraction, they tell you how many eggs they were able to retrieve. And from those eggs, they'll tell you how many were good, how many were bad, and all that good information. So in my case, I had really good eggs, apparently. Such amazing eggs.
Oh, wow.
My first ever trial of the IVF, I think they got up to 24 eggs.
Oh, wow.
You know, and they were really happy with the quality of it. And we even ended up freezing some.
Okay.
So that you don't have to start the journey from the very beginning.
Again.
Yes.
Okay.
So they froze maybe half of it, and the remaining half they'll go ahead to inject the sperm. And after 5 days, they'll see which ones blossomed into a quality, you know, embryo and all that. But once they put that in me, you now have to wait about 2 weeks to find out if it's implanted.
Okay.
And during the 2 weeks, you have a blood test done like every 4 days, because they're trying to see if your pregnancy hormone is rising and all that. So the first time, after 2 weeks, it was negative. Bottom line is every test I did, it was negative. So it meant that that cycle did not work.
Okay.
And about 2 days after that, your period just comes naturally, because they tell you to discontinue any drugs or injections or anything you're taking. Just stop. So the body just, you know, regulates itself again. So we did that. Then because we'd frozen some, we went back again to try about maybe 3-4 months later. We're just trying to make them close in succession, thinking that might help. Like, let the body get used to this idea of IVF, you know, and the more you try, maybe it might eventually work. So we did that with the frozen ones, but it was still a negative outcome. Then towards the end of last year, we did a fresh set, like a whole new IVF, started all over again. And it still didn't work. Yeah. So that just made me feel deflated. But at the same time, I started gaining some strength that I didn't know I had. You know, because it was on Christmas Day I found that it didn't work. And I thought I was just going to be the most depressed child on the earth on Christmas Day. And I was like, no, I'm not going to let this thing beat me. Okay. At least I'm alive and I'm well, and my husband is well. And through the journey, he's becoming more supportive. Okay. When we first started, he was, you know, a bit apprehensive, you know, but now he's getting way more support. It's almost like the more we try, the more he's like, it's more like, why is it not working? Like, okay, let's do this. Yeah. Okay. So I feel once we found that it didn't work, and he just held me and he was like, we're going to try again. I just felt this confidence. But I said to him, I don't know when I want to try again, because I just need to time out. But he was like, it's fine. When you're ready, and when he's ready as well, because a lot of times we women forget the men in this story. Exactly. We do. Exactly. we do. That's true. And the first 2 IVFs I did, I just felt like I literally just threw him in there. I'm like, look, you're my husband, and we're doing IVF, you know. But by the 3rd one, he started becoming a bit more, you know, receptive to it. So yeah, so that's where we are. Trying, and we'll keep trying. Okay. But I feel IVF, obviously we're grateful for, you know, medicine. Yes. And I can only imagine how it was when there wasn't any IVF at all. You know, still giving us hope and all that. But I think the more I research, the more I'm able to see, I feel a lot more money has to be spent on the reasons why it doesn't work. I guess there must be some great reasons out there why a lot of clinics do not have research teams investigating why it doesn't work. I hope and I pray that eventually they will go in that direction, because they all can share information, and you never know whose case might be able to help the other one. And yeah, so hopefully it will only get better. Hopefully. Okay, what I want to ask you now, for example, is you've been through, like when you first told me, you didn't even go into this much detail, and I was shocked already, basically, because I'm just thinking, you're going through ectopic pregnancy after ectopic pregnancy to a total of 3 ectopic pregnancies. Both your tubes are taking out. You've gone through IVF. You've done 3 rounds of IVF, and this is you. Like, you're just all bubbly and you're smiley, and it's just like, well, whatever, you know, things are happening. God is in control. You have amazing faith. Yes, I
That
do.
much I have to say
Yes,
to you.
I
You
do.
have amazing faith, and there's a
Thank
lot
you.
of gumption and there's a lot of drive.
Yes.
Basically, because I know not every single woman is going to be handling it
this way,
the way you
yes,
are,
yes.
basically, because
Yes.
they always say positive energy will always help, that sort of thing, the kind of vibes that
Yes,
you're
around,
living,
yes,
exactly, will
yes.
always help. But let me ask you this, you know how you were saying that your husband is now basically on board, you know,
Yes.
because obviously, like you said,
Yeah.
women do forget about the
Forget.
men sometimes because
Yeah.
it's all about, oh my God, what is going through, you know, what is going on.
Yeah.
But then your husband is being supportive now, and it's like
Yes.
the both of you are a team now, and
Yes,
it's all
we
like,
are.
yes,
It's a good
we're gonna
feeling,
do
yeah.
this thing together.
Yeah.
How are your families reacting?
The families, well, on his side, both parents are late.
Okay.
So
I always want to say thank God. Without, I don't. I
You
just.
know, yeah, I know what
I
you mean,
almost want to
like,
say that because
because
it's the pressure. You don't
yeah,
have that
like
pressure.
on that end, you know.
Yes.
So then that means it's my family. Both parents are alive,
Okay.
and he's literally like the first son to them.
Oh,
I have just one
wow.
brother,
Okay.
but they've taken him like that, you know, precious egg and everything, and it's been brilliant. The support they've given us. Even times when he wasn't too keen on the whole
Yeah.
IVF,
Yeah.
they've been there, you know, he talks to them very freely, how he's feeling. And yeah, my parents are very relaxed, calm.
Okay.
They're very genuine people,
Okay.
and very, you know, religious. Like maybe this whole faith
That's-
thing
that's
is
so-
because when
that's-
you've been watching people before, you're going through things and how they handled
Uh-huh.
it rubs off. You
Yeah.
know, you watch them, you're like, they survived it, so why can't I? You know,
Exactly.
so yeah, and I mean the sister after me, she has twins.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so so I'm like, okay, I might just have my IVF
Exactly.
twins. I don't care how it happens.
Exactly.
You know, so there's a lot of positive energy around me, and
Uh-huh.
she brings them around a lot for us to babysit,
Oh,
and
good.
so I already, you know, I'm feeling how it is, how the whole motherhood thing will be,
Yeah.
and all of that, and yeah, it's good to have that positive energy around me. So I guess we're very blessed to have people that
Yeah,
just,
so you have a
know,
good
the
support system.
system is brilliant.
Okay.
You know, and yeah, and that helps.
It does.
That helps a lot because I know in Nigeria so many
Exactly.
women going through this
Yes.
is because they don't have good support system, which means a lot of them don't talk about it.
True.
They're not comfortable about it because
True.
someone else might tell whoever or this, and or they start bringing up, and that common thing in Africa is we always feel like it's someone in the village or someone
There's juju
doing
going on and
something, yeah,
somebody's
the
doing
juju,
something.
and
Yes,
yeah,
of
there's all
course.
this mystical
Oh, of
things that,
course.
you know, and I would admit, like in the first few years when my journey started, I started feeling that way as well, because it's easy to feel that way. I was like, maybe it's that auntie. Maybe it's this uncle. That one, he just passed away. So maybe this year I'm going to have my child. It was really, you know,
Yeah.
sipping in. But I thank God for, like I said, family support and my church and things like that. You know, when you listen more to the word and you read it more, you start realizing that from the beginning of time, if you're Christian, you see in the Bible correlations between Sarah and Rebecca, so many of them that went through fertility in the Bible,
barren
which I
for
feel
so
a lot of us didn't study well
Yes.
to realize that those women didn't choose to go through fertility journeys. It just happened. Like, I feel maybe God has chosen you for that journey, and that's your journey, your cross to bear. And you have to bear it with dignity, you know, integrity, and just keep your head up, you know.
Amazing, amazing. I swear you're such a hero of mine. Seriously, you're a hero of mine. Because I love what you're saying. Do it with integrity,
Yeah,
dignity, and
yes.
just bear
Persevere,
it.
you
Persevere.
can. Yeah, you,
That is amazing.
we all can. We all can. I think, and just, you know, wake up each day appreciating those little things. I know it sounds very cliche, but it's the little things every day that get me through.
Wow.
It's that, you know, like you said, I'm a fashion designer, so I'm blessed to have that creative side of me. My clothes, my bags, you know, talking to the tailors and the customers, and, you know, customers are there every day. So there's a lot of activity. So it's possible that really helps me. Maybe some people's line of work might not make it that easy for them.
It might not be that fulfilling.
Yes,
for them, you know.
yes. I'm following a passion of mine.
Course.
So I feel it allows me just get lost in that passion
Yeah.
and just leave the rest to God, you know,
Yeah.
just focus. And
Do you think if you were still an
So,
investment banker, you'd be this
I
positive?
feel it might not have been so easy. I feel like I might have quit because of it. I feel because it's such a high pressure environment, and nobody wants to listen to all this. In fact, more than anything, they'll probably be happy you don't have kids. It's not like they're pleased with women that go on maternity leave. So yeah, who knows? Yeah, I might even have just called it a day and followed another dream or something, because I know deep inside me, I'm someone, I don't like to dabble on negatives and sad things. So I'll need an environment that just, you know, pushes me to stay positive. Fantastic. And I guess it's key for women to identify what jobs they're doing, where they are, and if they have an opportunity to change their role so that they can cope more, or, you know, I would recommend they do that.
Fabulous. Fabulous. You are absolutely fabulous, I swear. You're amazing. You're an amazing woman, and the journey that you've been through, honestly, I'm astounded that
I'm grateful you've given me a platform to speak up.
And you're smiling, and that you're actually being able, you're speaking. And here's my thing, I just want to, there are a lot of women going through this, basically, you know.
And I feel in Nigeria in particular, there are no support groups or system or nothing. In the UK, even with the ectopic thing I went through, there's support groups and forums.
Support group for everything,
basically. They really come together to make you understand you're not alone. In Nigeria, I know it's more the religious angle, but even in the religious angle, not all churches have the fertility thing as a strong focal point. It really depends on which one you're attending, you know. So I feel you still have to go out there and find the one, because you might,
sometimes it's almost like people make you feel as if there's something wrong with you,
you know, and forgetting that you didn't choose that life. You can't pick, you know, we don't decide.
Pick and choose
we just don't.
This is the kind of
there's no control over that bit of our lives. There's just no control over it. Amazing. So I feel it'll be really sad to be sad about what you can't control. You know, why don't you focus on the ones you can and leave the rest to God?
Amazing. Leave the rest to God, and then focus on what you can control. Okay, so this is Okiki Marinho, personally one of my heroes right now, because what you're saying today, your story that you shared, and the fact that you sit here and you're smiling and you have this flourishing business, and honestly, can I just tell you, you are going to be a fabulous mother.
Thank you.
You're going to be a fabulous mother, seriously. So guys, this is first episode of Working Woman Chronicles, where we just sit, we talk, and just talk about the trials and the tribulations and, you know, whatever journeys that women are going through in general. And Okiki Marinho was very, very, very lovely to honor us with being our very, very first guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
coming on,
me.
and thank you so much for sharing your story with us. All right, guys, this is Pulse TV Live. I am Nisi Molu, and we'll see you in just a little bit.